for the celebrated, the undefeated former IBF featherweight champion of the world, Josh the Leeds Warrior Warrington.
And so the last of the formalities, final instructions from the referee. The two men in the centre of the ring, Lara bouncing up and down, and a fixed focus in the eyes of Josh Warrington as they now move back to their respective corners. Closest to us, Mauricio Lara of Mexico in the red corner. Over on the far side, further away from us as we look out here, close to ringside, Josh Warrington in the blue corner. The bell sounds for a first of 10 rounds in this non-world title contest. Josh Warrington having decided to relinquish the titles. He steps forward with a couple of jabs and a right hand in the early part of the contest. And we heard about him earlier on saying it was a business move. Lovely left hook to the body. Left hook to the head from Warrington. He's got his timing straight away after 16 months out of the ring. Solid shots landing inside the first 25 seconds. He backed up the Mexican. Now Lara comes forward himself. Looks fairly hesitant on the attack because he's been hit and hurt in the first half a minute by Josh Warrington. And Warrington just warned by the referee for punching while holding Lara. Lara flicks out a jab, taken on the glove by Warrington. Warrington with that familiar high-held guard. And now Lara tries to whip in a left hook. It was a long-range left hook. Flick of a jab. Simultaneous jabs almost landing there. One from each side. And Warrington looked to be the stronger of the two. Good left hook from Lara gets through. His first significant scoring punch of the round as we move into the second minute of the opening round. It's been a very lively start. And why wouldn't we have expected that, given the form of the career of Josh Warrington and the reputation of just about every Mexican who's ever laid on a glove. A nice clipping right uppercut from Lara gets through and draws applause from his corner. Now Warrington flicks out a left hand as Lara went to the body with a left hook, and it was taken neatly on the right elbow by Warrington. Now Warrington just stands in the way of a jab, and Lara tries to open up, gets through with a short, sharp right hand as Warrington just moves away slightly off balance, comes back with a jab to try to steady himself as we head towards the end of the second minute of a very lively, competitive opening round. Lara now is on the front foot, and now a left-right, left hook combination from Warrington, but he takes a crisp right hand from Lara and then another left hook from Lara. Solid shots from the Mexican, even though Warrington is getting through. The two men now are firing away, and they're landing solidly and frequently across the first couple of minutes. Left hook to the body from Lara. Certainly has he come here to fight tonight and isn't showing at this stage of the opening round that he's overawed. 40 seconds to go in this round. Warrington gets up on his toes, dances away out of distance, resets and starts to think about his next attack. Moving around towards his own corner. The blue corner takes a left uppercut from Lara. Lara swings with a right uppercut, then a left hook. Both of them miss, and they miss by some distance, but they're yet more notice of his intentions. And now Warrington steps forward with a right hand to the body, then a left hook to the head. Misses with a follow-up right hand, but solid shots did get through. Both men landing firmly over the course of this opening round. The last few seconds, terrific start by Warrington, but then Lara came back at him. It's been a very evenly contested round. Lara tries a whipping left uppercut, lands only on the forearms twice in a row. Left-right combination, and a left hook from Josh Warrington lands just after the bell. Barry Jones, former world super featherweight champion. What an opening round.
It was, and Warrington came out, and it looked like for just the first 10-15 seconds that Lara was out of his league. But then all of a sudden Warrington backed up a little bit, and then Lara was invited to come forward, and he did, and he landed some fantastic shots. What Josh is doing is he's throwing his shots and he's just standing right in front of Lara with no lateral movement and paying the price.
It's great to watch, but it's stupid. Let's get it right. Now, come, let's be absolutely honest. He's getting far too close. He's leaving his feet there. He's looking for a slugging match against the young Mexican who I've been warning you to for 45 minutes is dangerous. He's thrown some beautiful left hooks to the body. He's letting that big right go. He's letting the big looping left go. He's fighting the wrong fight, Warrington, but what a fight to watch. He'll change it in this round. He'll still stop him by 5, don't worry.
Opening round, which way did it go?
I'm going Lara, Mike.
Barry Jones?
I've gone level, I have, for me.
Level first round, certainly hotly contested, and Lara comes out with a 3-punch combination at the beginning of the second round. The last punch was a swinging left hook, and Warrington stepped back out of range and made him miss. Now the Mexican leans down, bends his knees, goes to the body with a left hand. Again, it's taken, and this time on the forearms by Warrington. Clever defence in the early stages of this second round, but then he takes a jab which pierces his high-held guard. Right hand over the top, though, from Warrington. Best punch of this second round so far, with half a minute gone. This fight scheduled for the 10 rounds as Warrington steps off on the back foot. Lara comes forward once again, leaning in towards his man. Warrington, the world champion from May 2018, 3 successful defences, and now saying he wants to move on to bigger and more lucrative opportunities, but he's got to win here tonight. Lands a lovely crisp combination, left hook to the body, left hook to the head, but then Lara immediately replies as Warrington, now you can hear him snorting as he throws his punches, throws another left hand to the body, right hand over the top, just over the top of the shoulder of Lara. Didn't quite find its way to the Mexican's chin. Into the second minute of round 2, it's every bit as competitive and every bit as lively as that opening 3 minutes. The two men exchange jabs in the centre of the ring. Lara goes to the body with a looping left hand and then swings an overhand right that Warrington found easy to evade as he stepped away. Again, they exchange jabs. Now Warrington takes up station in the centre of the ring. He's got a high-held guard, parries a jab from Lara, then throws a left-right of his own, but just about deflected by the gloves of Lara, so negating any real damage that the Mexican might have faced. Lovely left hook at the end of 2 punches to the body from Warrington. Good work there. Left hook from Lara, though, gets through just around the back of the right hand from Warrington. Warrington backs off onto the ropes and then swings using the elasticity of the ropes to get back to the centre of the ring. Warrington misses with an overhand right. Now he works away to the body, crunching left hand to the body, Warrington. Tap of the gloves as the two men bumped heads in the middle of that latest exchange. Now Warrington is landing solidly to the body. 2 left hooks a few moments ago, and now a right hand underneath the left elbow of Lara. Lara takes 2 solid right hands to the side of the head, then a left hook. Warrington's power now looks as if it might be beginning to tell. He opens up, swinging hooks from both flanks. Left hand over the top. Lara on the ropes on the far side of the ring as we look on, but he's still swinging away, this young Mexican, and the two of them now are punching toe to toe, punch for punch in the centre of the ring. 20 seconds to go in this second round. We know Warrington can last at this pace. We've seen it against Selby, we've seen it against Frampton, but can Lara? He's never been beyond 10 rounds and already taking deep lungfuls of breath, and this is only the second round. He moves forward towards Warrington, and it was very loose. It was almost flailing work from the Mexican at the end of the second round. A tap of the gloves as they make their way back to their respective corners, and there's blood now trickling from the right eye of Mauricio Lara. Your thoughts, Steve Bunce?
The first was good. The second was fantastic. The first minute or so, I thought Lara was starting to enjoy himself, starting to relax. But then something happened. I think he got clipped with a good right hand. And that's when Warrington seemed to close the gap and really let his fists go. That wasn't feeling out. That wasn't part of the strategy. Barry, he was letting his punches go there like it was the last 20 seconds of a 12th round in front of 40,000 people at Ellen Road. And he needed to win the 20 seconds.
He used his brain in that round, did Joshua. There's some structure to the round, to his work, because he was throwing his punches and stepping back out, taking a big step out, so Lara couldn't counter. And then in the last sort of 30 seconds, he put it on. And it's nothing, it's the weight of the shots, it's his physical strength that's winning over.
Imagine the atmosphere now at First Direct Arena or Ellen Road.
Stop it.
The places would be jumping. We move into the third round, the second round to Warrington. It looked as though his greater strength and maybe greater pedigree was beginning to tell. But Lara comes out punching at the beginning of this, the third round. Goes to the body, bends his knees with a jab, taken on the right elbow by Warrington. Then there's an exchange. Simultaneously, they threw left hands, both landed, both heads jarred backwards as Warrington just steps off. 4 world title fights in a row, and now having decided to relinquish the belt, he wants to go after one of the other title belt holders at some stage later this year, hopefully in front of a crowd. That was one of the reasons he waited so long to return to the ring. The latest and the last of Britain's world champions, although who no longer now no longer has that status, and now he bounces off the ropes with a 3-punch combination, all of them dead straight. Lara tries to respond, left hook to the body, then left hook to the head. Game work again from the Mexican, who at times just falls in, doesn't press forward with his feet, and looks to be slightly off balance, and once or twice telegraphs what he's going to do, and Warrington reads it as he did a moment ago and just swirled around to his right, back to the centre of the ring. Sturdy focus from Warrington as Lara lets go with a right hand, and Warrington backs off, although a left uppercut does get through, sneaks through from Lara, and Warrington responds almost immediately and drives the Mexican back to the ropes on the far side of the ring. They work away now close to that right-hand side of the ring as we look on. Both of them throwing solid shots to the body and the head. A lovely jab to the head followed by a right uppercut from Warrington. He does look at this stage to have the edge in power, but Lara is trying to match him for work rate. Now Lara steps forward with long, straight shots, jab followed by the right hand. Misses with the right hand as Lara. It was clumsy and it was loose, and Warrington easily made him miss. Coming towards the final minute of the third round here behind closed doors at Wembley Arena, the first show of 2021 in the UK, the first appearance in the UK for Mauricio Lara, and the first appearance in London in his professional career for Josh Warrington. His career played out mainly in the north, much of it, almost half of it, in his home city of Leeds. The first ever world boxing champion from the great sporting city of Leeds. Half a minute to go in the third round, and Warrington just backs off, gets set for his next attack, throws a single right hand. Lara saw it coming and just slipped inside. Nice right hand from Warrington. He tries another one over the top. It just grazes the top of the head of 22-year-old Mauricio Lara from Mexico City. And now Warrington tries to work away from the body again. You hear him snorting as he throws those punches, putting all possible effort into them, driving them through from the floor as a left hook from Lara gets through, but taken by Warrington and completely unperturbed by the relative power of that shot. They work away on the inside. Right hand to the body from Warrington as they tack gloves at the end of that round. Your thoughts, former world super featherweight champion Barry Jones?
What a fantastic little fight this is already 3 rounds in. I think Warrington's only getting caught when he's holding his feet. After he throws the shots or he throws a feint and doesn't move the feet after, that's when he's getting caught. When he halfway through that round, he got a bit of bounce to his step, and he was relaxed, and there was a rhythm to his work, and then he started to spin round the target, and it was better for it. So he's having the better of the exchanges, but Lara's always dangerous, so he has to be always concentrating.
He's fighting a great fight, this kid, isn't he? I'm not joking about the Mexican. We've seen Warrington toe-to-toe with Lee Selby. Great win. Toe-to-toe with Carl Frampton. Have a hard fight but win against Kid Galahad. And this young, unknown Mexican's come here, and for 9 minutes he's tried to stand toe-to-toe. It's fantastic. This is opening up. Warrington's getting to him, but this is opening up still.
So the bell sounds for round 4. Josh Warrington against Mauricio Lara. The first of 5 shows on 5 Live promoted by Matchroom between now and the middle of April. 2 months of high quality boxing featuring Britain's best emerging and established fighters, and none more established than Josh Warrington, the former world featherweight champion. Former champion, yes, but still very much unbeaten and looking to restore momentum to his career here. At Wembley Arena, behind closed doors, he steps off onto the ropes and then bounces off with a left-right combination. The right hand landed over the top of the head of Lara, who tries a jab in the early stages of this, the 4th round. Flicks out that jab. Another jab from Warrington is a better one, more accurate one, and just jars the head of Lara. Then he does it again, twice in a row. Josh Warrington, solid work, and he covers up neatly on the inside and then flicks out a jab. Having taken Lara's body shots on the forearms, he then flicked out a couple of jabs. Good work from Warrington again, covering up as Lara throws shots to the body and the head, all of them cuffed or parried by the gloves of Warrington. Sharper work, as Barry said, getting caught when he holds his feet and stands in front of Lara, but at this stage in this round he's been more defensively cute and hasn't given the Mexican the openings. Right hand to the body, then a left hook to the head from Warrington. Good work, and Lara just for a moment backed off as if that body shot had an effect. And now referee Howard Foster warns Warrington for just going slightly south of the border, straying below the belt with that shot, and therefore just on the edge of being illegal as he steps back out of range now, looking to land his shots both at distance and moving in up close, taking his opportunities as Lara comes forward once again with an overhand right, then a left hook to the body. But again, it was Warrington who landed a solid left hook, but he too has been caught, backed up onto the ropes, and Lara now lands an overhand right, and Warrington has uncomfortable moments as he backs off once again, centre of the ring, and Warrington is hurt like it looks at no stage in his career so far. He backs off, he's on unsteady legs in the 4th round, and still 50 seconds to go, and Lara is beginning to open up. It all started with a big right hand that drove Warrington back to the ropes. As Warrington tries to dance away, you can tell the legs are unsteady, and a left hook from Lara floors Josh Warrington with half a minute to go in round 4. Will he get up? He's down for the first time in his 11.5-year professional career. He's on very unsteady legs. Will Howard Foster allow him to continue? 20 seconds to go here. A mammoth upset is on the cards as Lara steams forward. Right hand, left hook, 15 seconds to go. Warrington is trying to fight back. 10 seconds remaining. A crunching right hand from Lara. It's Warrington still on the ropes, still punching, but he's in desperate trouble. Will the bell sound? Will he be saved? He is, but he's in big trouble as Lara strides back to his corner, and an upset is truly on the cards here, and only just avoided at the end of that round.
It was a crunching left hook at first, Mike, and it was a big high right behind the ear, probably on the temple, that dropped him. He's hurt. He was hurt for 10 or so seconds before Lara realised he was hurt. We knew he was hurt. We could see his legs. He was doing an unsteady dance, that terrible dance. He went down really heavy there, Barry.
They both threw left hooks at the same time. That's what started. They both threw left hooks, and I think one of them come the worse off with it, even though he knocked Lara back. And then he was unsteady. Then he caught that big right hand, and he was in trouble. And I tell you what, if that was Lara in trouble, the referee was stepping
Fight's
in.
over.
I'm telling you, no.
Absolutely.
He didn't do any favours, but he could have stepped in. And I'm not sure if that minute rest is going to be enough for Josh Warrington. He was in terrible trouble going back to the corner.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
So we move into round 5, and Josh Warrington staring at the first defeat of his professional career. 30 fights unbeaten before tonight. He steps off, he's looking wary, and Lara's looking for the opportunities now. He opens up with short arm and long arm punches. Warrington holding his ground, standing in front of him here, trying to force Lara back. Lovely left hook from Warrington now, and Lara is forced to just stand his ground for a moment, but the Mexican immediately comes after Warrington. Was that 60 seconds enough for Warrington to recover? He's come back fighting. We knew he would. The Leeds warrior, but he's going to need all of that warrior instinct now as Lara lands another clipping left hook. How much has that 4th round taken out of Lara? The amount of punches that he threw. He's never been in a contest at this frenetic pace so far in his professional career. He's breathing very heavily as Lara now, but he's looking for the opportunity as Warrington is still also looking for respite. He takes a clipping left uppercut from Lara, but then he covers up as the Mexican throws a left hook. Overhand right from Lara, but a better right hand from Warrington. Then a left hook from Warrington. And now it's Warrington's turn to get on top. What a comeback here. Championship mentality from Josh Warrington. Lara still very much in the fight, but Warrington is trying to turn it his way as we move to the halfway stage of round 5. And just imagine the atmosphere anywhere in Leeds had there been a crowd in attendance here, and maybe they might have lifted Josh Warrington, but here it's the fighting instinct that's bringing him back into the contest. But again, Lara gets through. This time though, the Mexican misses with a weak looking left hook. He tries a right uppercut, but a better right hand over the top from Warrington lands, and the Mexican just steps back out of range. A jab from Warrington gets through. Terrific contest. This will rank as one of the best we see this year, without question. Warrington now drives forward. 2 jabs, overhand right. Lara is forced to hold on the ropes directly in front of us here at ringside. What a contest here. The headline contest in the first big show of 2021, and already one to remember. Mauricio Lara goes on the front foot once again. Warrington looks to be getting back onto steadier feet, but he's still in big danger after that huge 4th round. Lara comes forward once again, but this time Warrington responds. Left, right, left hook combination in the centre of the ring. Half a minute to go in round 5. Warrington covers up from the latest attack from Lara. Warrington close to the ropes on the far side of the ring. Now circles around towards his left. Back to the relative safety of the centre of the ring. Right hand to the body, then a left hook from Lara. Shows the Mexican has still got plenty left. Left hook to the body from Warrington, followed by a left hook to the head. Then a right hand. Warrington getting through here heavily, but so too Lara is fighting back. Both men warming to the challenge here. Another brilliant round. Barry Jones.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. That was unbelievable. I'd say something. Lara might rue the day that he never went right at him at the bell. Steve, he should
at the start of that round.
He should have jumped all over Josh, because Josh that minute wasn't enough. He was still unsteady on his legs. He really was. But what a fighting spirit from Josh Warrington. He really just bit on that gum shield and just digged in.
When he came out for the start of that 5th round, he wobbled off to his right, he wobbled off to his left. Even the referee, Howard Foster, had a look at him. He took some big shots, but he's kept his hands higher. He's picked his punches. He's picked his shots as much as he possibly could. But I'll tell you now, when we speak to him at the end of the fight, win or lose, he won't remember much of this round. What we saw there was 180 seconds of gut instinct.
Have you got any clue who's in front?
Lara, because of the knockdown.
Round 6 of this remarkable contest, which could still go either way. Both men having their successes in round 5. But the knockdown for Lara in round 4, the first knockdown of Josh Warrington's professional career. And Lara lands a solid jab at the beginning of this, the 6th round, and goes after Warrington once again. Warrington backs off voluntarily, tries to reset and find his own openings. Throws a jab, then a right hand as Warrington, but pretty apprehensive. Thought he might land shy of the distance and then virtually pulled away before that right hand finished its intended journey. Lara throws a left-right combination, but they looked fairly weak at that stage. Solid jab from Warrington gets through with 40 seconds or so gone now in this 6th round. An exchange of left hooks, similar to the one that started the problems for Warrington, followed by a right hand in that 4th round, and eventually, after a sustained attack from Lara, he went down, but responded brilliantly, bravely, courageously in the 5th round. And now it's a quieter start to this 6th round. Two fighting men here, both who've been hit hard and hit often during the course of the contest so far. But how important in terms of the scoring, should it go the distance, will that knockdown be for Lara? Lara took aim to throw a left hand to the body, then throws a left-right combination to the chin. Warrior responds with a solid jab, but a jab from Lara gets through and rocks back the head of Warrington. Still so much danger in this contest for Warrington. The two men exchange left hooks all over again. A jab from Lara. He's stalking his man. He's moving after him in really determined fashion. Left hook to the body from Lara is the latest attempt. Then he goes to the body with a right hand, misses, and takes a left-right combination from Josh Warrington. But as he takes them, he comes straight back into the fray. Solid chin. The Mexican showing here, as well as great courage and great desire to cause what would be one of the biggest upset scenes in a British ring in recent years. The two men exchanging solid shots in close. Right hand over the top from Lara gets through, and Warrington is forced to back off once again. 45 seconds to go in round number 6. There's blood around the right eye of Mauricio Lara once again, and that right eye is beginning to close, which potentially could cause him problems, but he's still landing solidly. He goes to the body with a left hand, but a much harder shot from Warrington gets through. It was an overhand right. Jab from Lara gets through, as is the response. Every time one of these boxers lands, the other responds almost immediately here. Virtually every time, landing hurtfully and solidly and frequently. Warrington is made to miss for once by Lara, who bent his knees and ducked under that latest left-right combination attack. Left hook from Warrington lands lightly on the right-hand side of the head of Lara. Last few seconds of this 6th round, as a right uppercut from Lara is the latest attempt to land on Warrington. Warrington flicks out a jab at the end of the round, and another sporting touch of gloves at the end of that round. Steve Bunce.
He's trying everything he knows, Warrington, to clear his head, to clear his legs. He knows, he's smart, he's been around a long time, Mike. He's been in the game, he's been in hard fights a long time, but he's never been where he is now. He's trying to work out. You can see him thinking, how's he catching me with that punch? How did that get through? And he boxed beautifully there until 50 seconds to go when he got caught with a right hand, and his legs gave away then. They didn't move much. They don't need to move much, Barry. We can see it's just the slightest movement. He was in desperate trouble the last 30 seconds of that round.
Well, what's important for Josh again is it's about he can stay close to the target, but he needs to pivot on that front foot. He got to keep changing the angle every time, going back in straight lines or holding his feet. As we've already mentioned, it means that because his punch is not having any effect on Lara. That's the important thing. He's digging in, he's hitting Lara with great shots. Lara's having no effect, but when Lara hits Warrington, he feels it.
So the bell rings for the start of round 7, and this is so close. Both men landing hurtfully and frequently throughout the opening 6 rounds, and importantly that knockdown for Lara in round 4, the first such knockdown for Josh Warrington in his entire professional career. And Lara on the front foot again at the beginning of this round and lands a left hook onto the high part of the head of Warrington, who backs off, hands held high, times a nice left hook does Warrington in the first half a minute of this, the 7th round. And Lara backs off, and now Warrington tries a combination and just falls slightly off balance at the end of that with the momentum of that left hook, which swung its way past the chin of Lara. Left hand towards the torso area for Warrington, gets through. He dances off out of range. Lara now steps after him, tries an overhand right, lovely left uppercut from Lara, lands solidly on the chin of Warrington once again, finding itself through the sometimes leaky defence of Warrington, who backs off onto the ropes on the right hand side of the ring as we look on, standing virtually stock still. Now he moves off slightly to his right. Lara gets through with another fairly crisp left hook and missed with an even bigger one. It just whistled its way past the chin of Warrington. Warrington backing off. This is clearly a tactic of Warrington, but also it's part of his desire to try to recoup some of his lost senses. Battered away from him by that onslaught in the 4th round, and another really tough 5th round. Lovely jab from Warrington, finds its way onto the jaw of Lara. Now a left-right combination from Warrington, followed by another jab. Solid shots to the chin, but still Lara comes firing back. Every time he takes a shot, the Mexican, almost immediately he replies. He slips inside the jab of Warrington, tries a left uppercut, then a jab gets through from Lara. The two men in the centre of the ring here, and still this contest could be turned either way. Right hand from Warrington gets through, and again it jars the chin of Lara. Just for a moment Lara had to back off, but almost immediately he changes direction and comes forward. Now Warrington comes forward but walks onto a sharp right hand. Just as he was about to set up an attack, he walked onto a right hand, but now Warrington throws a right hand followed by a left hook, and another right hand just falls shy of the target. Right hand to the body from Warrington was a good shot, as Lara tries the same shot from the left hand side. Left hook from Lara gets through, tries a second one as they come close together. Again an exchange of left hooks. How many times have we seen that through the contest so far? And both landing on the high part of the opponent's head. Now Warrington working away on the inside. At the moment they're virtually toe to toe. Now Warrington steps off. Last few seconds of round number 7. As they step back now, Warrington steps back, and Lara just assesses his next move, moves his shoulder down to his left as if he's about to throw a left hook, and he tries it but it misses by some distance. Then he clips Warrington with a left hook, tries an overhand right and dances after his man and lands one on the gloves right at the end of that 7th round. And before I move to you, let's go to Sean O'Hagan and Josh Warrington's corner over in the blue corner, far side of the ring.
All he's got is that hook. Yeah. All he's looking for. All he's looking for is that hook, Johnny. Can't let him have any more.
So have a spit, son. Have a spit.
You've got some water.
So hearing there from Sean O'Hagan, and language you'd expect on pressure nights like this, and he was saying all he's got is the left hook, so avoid that left hook. And I'm going to get the scorecards from you both in a moment, but your thoughts at the moment, Steve Bunce?
I'm a bit concerned now, Mike, I've got to be honest with you. I thought in the 5th and the 6th I saw enough to prove to me that Warrington had regained a bit of his legs and a bit of his feet. But in that round he looked a little bit cautious, like he knows he's a punch away, and he might only have the left hook, as Sean said, Barry, but it's a dangerous left hook. Sorry, mate.
It is, but it's more than that. Josh, when he throws a 3-punch combination, Josh, he's getting caught every time. 2 punches or straight punches in more than 2. That's what he has to do. When he throws that left hook, he's always getting caught. Left hook for left hook, he always comes worse off with it.
Into round 8 we go then, and once again it's Lara on the front foot. It's a battered, bloody face that the Mexican is carrying into battle here, but he's doing it with some vigour and with some success across the previous 7 rounds. On my card at this stage, it is dead level as Warrington tries to hold his ground in the centre of the ring and punch at close range. But Lara lands a solid jab, then a left hook just grazes the top of the forehead of Warrington in that centre of the ring exchange. Lara just motions as if he was going to throw one of those left hooks to the body. He's had a lot of success with that particular punch and with the left hook that Warrington's father and trainer Sean told him about in the corner a few moments ago. And he's in that corner now, the blue corner. And now Lara senses his opportunity and moves forward. But this time it's Warrington who tries a left hook over the top and a tap of the gloves. And 2 sporting fighters here who realise that they're in tough. And now a left-right combination from Lara lands on the chin of Warrington, but Warrington responds with virtually the same combination. It's getting a bit untidy in the centre of the ring. Both men are now beginning to get tired. Good combination from Warrington. Right hand and then a left hook, but again Lara responds with a left hook of his own, and noticeably Warrington backs off. Right hand to the body from Lara, then a left hook to the head, taken on the glove by Warrington. Warrington is covering up close to his own corner, that blue corner on the far side of the ring. Now Warrington flicks out a jab. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in round number 8, and now Warrington steps forward, jab, right hand, then a left hook, jab, right hand, left hook to the body. 2 combinations in a row from Warrington. Then he steps away and takes a jab from Lara. Lara trying to step after him on work rate. It looks as though at this stage, with 2 minutes gone in the round, it's been a slightly better round for Warrington. Cleaner punching, but as I say that, so a left-right combination lands on his chin from Lara. Then a left hook to the body. You can sometimes hear the gloves rasping against the naked flesh as they pound the body and the chin of their respective opponent here. And Lara gets a bit loose with the right hand, falls off balance and then moves in from the southpaw stance. So tired is he now, but still so game, and there's still power in those punches. Right hand to the body from Warrington. Then he tries a left hook to the head. Jab from Lara gets through and jars the head of Warrington. Warrington lands a short, sharp right hand in response. That same pattern of the fight. When one man lands, the other one responds. Left hook gets through to the chin from Warrington. Good solid shot. Brilliant jab from Warrington. That really did hurt Lara, but still Lara comes forward. Still Lara presses the attack. Still he knows only one direction of travel. He goes forward with a right hand to the body, left hook to the chin. Clever, classier work from Warrington in that particular exchange. And then Warrington covers up well with the gloves as Lara tries to mount yet another attack at the end of round 8. Barry Jones.
I thought you got his boxing together well there, Warrington. Again, the importance is not to get too greedy with the success. A couple of shots, you've got to get away. But what Lara's doing, he's making Warrington work very, very hard. And every time he hits Warrington, you can see the physical effects it's having. He just makes him step back, makes him move back, and his legs still don't look 100%.
I'm stunned that Lara is still there, still throwing and still dangerous. I honestly believe that once Josh had recovered for a round or 2, he'd put the pressure on. But if anything, you've got to fancy Lara's got the ability to finish this fight. I know what we are going to get. This is only the 9th. The 10th round is going to be quite incredible, Barry, because at that point, Josh will know there's absolutely nothing in it. It's either one round this way or one round the other way. Josh at least does look. Look, I'm still looking at him in the corner. He does look, Mike. Josh does look a little bit clearer going into this, the 9th round.
Into the 9th round we go then for Josh Warrington and Mauricio Lara, who's much the least experienced of the two, but has more than shown himself to be the match of the former world champion here. And Warrington, for a lot of this contest, certainly as we moved into round 5 after being knocked down in round 4 and through into round 6, looked as though he was on the verge of suffering the first defeat of his professional career. But he's shown terrific courage. And I'm told that Tony Bellew has tweeted that if Warrington is to survive and win this, it has to go down as one of the great comebacks in a British ring. It's certainly been a performance of the utmost in bravery at this stage. A right hand and a left hook from Lara gets through, and Warrington is shaken here in the 9th round. It's in the 1st minute of the round, so still plenty of time for Lara to go after his man, and he lands a left hook, and Warrington is down flat on his back, and the referee has decided it's all over. He doesn't even begin the count, and we have seen one of the biggest upsets in a British ring in recent years. Josh Warrington beaten in the 9th round by the unheralded Mexican Mauricio Lara, and he's flat on his back, being attended to here by the medical staff behind closed doors at Wembley Arena. It's a huge, huge upset. The first defeat of his professional career in his 31st fight after nearly a dozen years on the professional circuit for the former world featherweight champion Josh Warrington. A massive, massive setback.
Well, I just can't believe it. This was literally going to be a fight where if he just keeps his hands up high, works behind his jab, it was looking to be an easy mag time fight for Josh Warrington. Best laid plans and all that. It was unbelievable. From round 4 on, he wasn't steady on his legs. He really. You have to commend how tough Warrington is, how fit and resilient he is, because he wasn't steady on his legs. For every time he got clipped with a left hook, he looked worse every time. Lara just took everything he had given to him, to be fair. And in the end, then I just think more than the shots there, fatigue played his part.
You know, sometimes when we're in these privileged positions, we have to analyse stuff that we'd rather not analyse. So let's throw this. Let's be a bit harsh here. Let's be a bit brutal, Mike, whilst he's getting attention on the floor. He was sitting up for a moment. He's gone back voluntarily because it's easier to treat a kid, to assess a kid's damage. Warrington fought from the very first bell with a recklessness, Mike. He was smart once he was hurt. That's when he got smart, only once he was hurt. That applause you can hear is the 60 or 70 or 80 people here, because Warrington has now been lifted up and he's into a sitting position again. He's receiving oxygen. That's standard procedure. So the picture, if you're watching it, or if you catch a glimpse of it at some point, does look dramatic. But that's standard when a man's stopped. Mike, listen, you know, we're not being after-timers here. It was a crazy, chaotic start. The second he did a bit of boxing, he got involved again in the third, and from the fourth, the expression is, Barry, all bets are off in the fourth, because he was so hurt when he went down.
Listen, if we want to pick it apart, there's loads of things that he did wrong, but ultimately, he could hit Lara, and he thought he could hit him, he could hurt him, and he couldn't hurt him. But Lara could hurt Warrington. That was what happened. He punched with him, and he came second best, ultimately. That's just sometimes how it goes in the game.
But he might have been able to hurt him had he done it in a different way. Instead of throwing... in the first 10 seconds, you said it at the end of the first round. In the first 10 seconds, I thought Lara was finished. He hurt Lara with 3 shots. He hit him low intentionally. It was all over the place. 15 seconds into this fight, I thought it was a first round stoppage.
I think what it is, every time he threw a punch, Warrington, he held his feet because he's trying to get more flat-footed and a little bit lower. He needed to throw 2 shots and spin on the angle and either go again or he was too easy. Lara knew where he was, so he could fire back every time he got hit.
The ringside is because Josh Warrington has managed to make his own way back to his own corner, that blue corner on the far side of the ring, on his feet, and he is now sitting on the stool in his corner as Mauricio Lara is hugged by the cornerman of Josh Warrington and congratulated now by Warrington himself, who steps up from his stool and embraces Mauricio Lara in warm style. 2 fighting men here, and we shouldn't forget, for all the disappointment that's around here, there's a real aura of gloom here in this very dark arena anyway, with all the black curtains all around hiding the seating here. We shouldn't forget that this was some contest. This really was some contest. The first defeat, yes, of the career of Josh Warrington, but there was a lot there tonight that was inclusive of everything that we love about this sport and everything that we're so troubled by.
Fight of the year already? No, let's not go that far, but it was a fantastic fight. Upset of the year.
Well, it's upset
in January already. I mean, am I already? No, forget about the rest of the 11 months.
It's without a doubt upset of the year. I thought every single round was brilliant. I thought the first round was good. Then I said to you at the end of the second's better than the first. At the end of the third, I said to you two, that's better than the first 2. And the kid just looked relaxed, Lara. That's not after timing before the 4th round. He looked like, and I said it at the end of the third, he looks like he's enjoying himself in there.
Too relaxed, because in that 5th round, he should have really, when that bell went in for the start of the 5th round, he should have jumped all over Warrington, and this fight would have been finished earlier. Because Warrington was still all over the place.
Mike, what guts, Barry, he showed Warrington in the 5th, when we know he didn't know where he was. In the 6th, when he didn't know really where he was. In the 7th, when he was fighting fighting on instinct. And again in the 8th, he was fighting purely and utterly and totally on instinct. He was doing what he knew he had to do, but he had no idea really why he was doing it.
Fitness got him through a lot of those rounds, but I tell you something, it was about round 8 or round 9 on the stool, and I thought it's very rarely at this stage of a fight you see Warrington looking more tired than his opponent. And that's what it was. I think there was with all those heavy shots he took, having to work so Lara made him work really hard to keep him off. Fatigue played his part as well as Lara. Listen, we're not giving Lara credit here because Warrington was a shoo-in for the win. But no,
the kid was phenomenal tonight, the Mexican. I know I made a joke about it from 10 o'clock, and I know I was joking about.
You're getting the blame for it, though, my friend.
But I'm telling you, Mike, the kid was phenomenal tonight. He's gone to the home country of an unbeaten champion, a man who's recognised as the #1 featherweight in the world, and that's a packed field at the top there, and he's entered that ring fearless. He's young, he's Mexican. It's that triangle, it's that triple I've been talking about, and I was only half joking. He's come and he's fought his heart out. If he'd have got done in the 5th round, he would have gone back to Mexico happy. He's fought his heart out, but so has Warrington.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Howard Foster calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 54 seconds of round number 9. Your winner by technical countout de San Felipe de Jesus, Ciudad de Mexico, Mauricio Bronco Lara.
54 seconds of round 9. Mauricio Lara of Mexico creates one of the great upsets seen in a British ring. And a warm embrace from Josh Warrington, the fighting man, the Leeds warrior, showing that instinct, knowing he's been beaten tonight by the better man. And there'd be a long, long queue if crowds were ever allowed to return to see a rematch of that one. At this point, Josh Warrington is just having a conversation with the referee, Howard Foster, and it has to be said that it was a brilliant call by Howard Foster. As soon as Josh Warrington hit the canvas for that second time, he was knocked down in the 4th round and again in the early stages of that 9th round, and Howard Foster immediately waved it off. So Josh Warrington now has to pick up the pieces of his career. His first defeat in 31 fights, and now he has to decide where he goes next as Mauricio Lara stands smiling with his arm raised aloft by one of his cornermen as he poses for the photographs now as a man who could well go on to become a world champion.
Lara's got a situation here, Mike, where he can hopefully get a rematch and make a lot of money. He might get one of the other guys. I just hope he does it the sensible thing, Lara. And listen, I'm not turning my back on Josh. I'm saying I hope Lara does the sensible thing and makes plenty of money where he goes next. Josh will be back. He's going to go through a torrid, a vile, a horrible few days, maybe even a few weeks, but he'll come back more determined. And there's one thing that Josh Warrington won't do, Mike. He will not offer up one single excuse. He lost tonight because he lost. He lost tonight because he got hit on the chin a few times. That's why he lost tonight. There will not be one excuse. It's what happens in boxing, and it's what happens in big-time boxing. And that was big-time boxing. Sure, it was a shock. It was just boxing.
This also, we have to say that I think that if they fought again, I would fancy Warrington for the win. If Warrington don't try and knock him out with every shot, I think that's what he tried to do. He tried to insert himself and show that he was physically the stronger, which he might have been, but not the bigger puncher. Also, I wouldn't put Lara favourite to beat any of the other champions in the weight, though I would have put Warrington favourite to beat most of them. So so we have to be realistic about that. So that was a big upset. That's as big an upset as you can get right now in world boxing for me. You've got a guy there who's #1, #2 in the division with him and Gary Russell Jr. But you wouldn't fancy Lara against Gary Russell. You wouldn't fancy Lara against Navarrete either. Let's be honest, you wouldn't. Or Kid Galahad. No, all of a sudden it's wide open for that kid, but Josh got to come back and find out what the problems were. I think it was clear what it was. I think tactically he made a few mistakes.
A fabulous win. I just saw a tweet there from Peter Fury, the trainer of Savannah Marshall and the man that took Tyson Fury to that great victory over Vladimir Klitschko. He said 22 years of age, fairy tale, the underdog. That's what boxing's all about, or words to that effect. I absolutely have got to love that, because that's true. That's what we like, Mike. We don't like to see Josh Warrington kids we like. We don't like to see that, Barry. We don't like to see guys we know get beat. We don't like to see guys we know get dropped a couple of times. We don't like to see them get hurt. But it's the business. It's what happens. You know, this is not drama. It's not some drama that's been written by somebody. This is the real stuff. It might seem like we're over the top sometimes, but what we saw there was raw and emotional, and it hurts. And I don't know about you, I don't sleep happily tonight because of what I've seen here tonight. I don't get into bed, put my feet up with my Horlicks and wake up 9 hours later happy. That sits on me tonight.
But it's the magic of the sport where, you know, like almost any other, where you can get a kid with no chance at all from nowhere with nothing, and one night changes his life forever. For Lara, whether he earns a fortune or not, he's beaten one of the premier fighters in his division. He might not get another good win like this ever again, or he might go on to be the best fighter on the planet. Who knows? The fact is, this win now opens his world to something that he would never thought was possible, and only boxing can do that.
And how fortunes change. I was looking back through his record, Barry, and on the night that Josh Warrington beat Lee Selby, a night we'll never forget, at Ellen Road to win the World Featherweight Championship over in Mexico City, Mauricio Lara was knocked out in the first round of his contest by an unheralded Mexican called Elliot Chavez. And he's since come back to improve and to produce the kind of performance that we've seen tonight. Something that, to me, is one of the obvious questions around this. With a crowd, would Warrington have been dragged back into the contest?
Well, Mike, here's the thing. Warrington fought that first round like he'd walked through 30,000 people with the Kaiser Chiefs playing. He fought that first round like he was more fired up than I've ever seen him. I made that note. I'm not after timing. Before the first bell, I said, Warrington, no, and actually the note I wrote was I was going to use it a bit cool, like now I was going to use it as a joke. I was going to say that no one told Warrington that 30,000 fans were not inside the Wembley arena. He did not fight like a man lacking in motivation. And could the crowd have helped him? No, Mike. The shots were perfect shots. The ones that dropped him in the fourth, he went down so heavily. And it's that horrible moment when there's a knockdown, when the arm's tucked under the body and the boxer's not sure what to do. He wants to get up, but he can't use his arm. And he doesn't really know why he can't use his arm. And this might sound like I'm being brutal. Well, it's a brutal business we're in. It wasn't a knockdown when you're on your back, where you got both hands to use to get up, or where you go on your front, where you got both hands. If you watch it again, Barry, I think it's his left arm's tucked under his body, and you see him struggling to get the arm free so he can push himself up. We knew then he was hurt. We knew when he came out for the fifth round, you were like kicking me under the table in case I'd missed that dance he was doing. Mike, the crowd, no matter how many were here, no matter how much willing there was, they couldn't have helped him in those last few rounds.
See, for me, Warren boxed like a guy who thought he was going to walk right through him. And understandably, because so did we all sort of did, really, let's be honest. We thought, this guy can punch a little bit, will show a little resistance for the class and the physical strength, and just the experience of Warrington at this level will shine through. And if it goes 6 rounds, Lara's done well. And I think Warrington's gone. Whatever you tell yourself, Warrington's, the heights he's been at recently, he's been telling himself he must have gone in with that. Because he tried to steamroll Lara in the first 30 seconds.
Yes.
Didn't work. But then, because he probably just thought that in his mindset, just thought that was going to happen, didn't really have any other plan then. So when he was throwing a shot, he was holding his feet because he wasn't expected to be pushed back. He wasn't expected his punches to have no effect. Where another Warrington, as we've seen in the past, has been so much more adaptable and versatile, but not tonight.
A brief answer from both of you. Earlier on the card, his campmate, gym mate, Reece Mould, was beaten for a fight for the British featherweight title. Taking that defeat back to the dressing room, would that have had any effect?
Yes. I remember when I boxed for the world title, Mickey Cantwell, bless him, got beat on a cut. And we had to share the same dressing room. We had a huge dressing room. And when he came in with his corner, they were all gutted and crying. and I wanted him out. I didn't want him anywhere near me. It was a real problem for me. So, it was almost like get him out of the changing room, because I want to focus on my fight. So any negative energy is not a good thing.
And also, Barry, we'd seen Josh getting really excited when Reece had hurt Lee Wood. We'd seen Josh getting excited and jumping up and down. Of course, in the next round, it started to turn. So I agree with Barry. I agree with you completely and utterly that when that happens, I don't like it.
And so we leave here, Wembley Arena, behind closed doors, the first show of 2021, producing one of the shocks of recent years in British boxing, with Josh Warrington, the former world featherweight champion, apparently getting set to restore momentum to his career, being beaten, though, by the previously unheralded Mexican Mauricio Lara in the 9th round of a fight, quite simply, that we will never forget. But Josh Warrington now goes away to pick up the pieces of his career. But next up on 5 Live, as we say good evening here from Wembley Arena, it's Kermode and Mayo.